Welcome to the United Cast. It's Entertainment Talks podcast for Man United and football. I'm your host Matthew, and today I'm going to be talking about Manchester United's 5-2 win at home to Bournemouth, and a bit of breaking news that we've had within the last hour or so, or at least within the time that I've recorded this. Nemanja Matic, of course, the midfielder who's been in great form as of late, has signed a contract extension until 2023. So, yeah, about 3 more years or so. Which I think is really, really good news. I think, yet again, I'm going to give him praise for this match particularly. I think the combination of himself, Pogba and Bruno Fernandes has been nothing short of electric and amazing, and I can't wait to see it progress further. But yes, he has signed a new contract. I think last time I talked, Scott McTominay had signed a new contract. I think that was to 2025, possibly. Can't quite remember. But Scott McTominay did recently sign a new contract as well. Of course, on the downside, last week, of course, I talked about Angel Gomez not signing a contract. He has now left the club. That was confirmed to be the 1st of July, which I think was the day I recorded last week's podcast. It might have been. Roughly, yeah, on Friday, but that happened as well, of course. So lots of contract news kind of going around for Manchester United as well. Some good, some really disappointing, but it is what it is, isn't it? With football sometimes. But yeah, very happy to have Matic here. I think if this happened at the start of the season when he wasn't playing so well, I think we would have been a bit disappointed. But I think he's really turned the corner, and he isn't young. I think he's about 31 or so. Roughly. So he signed for a couple of more years. My guess would be that 2023 season that he's going to, it will be the 2022 to 23 season. That will probably be his last, I imagine. And what I hope we do within that time, of course, in 3 years' time, is either use Scott McTominay as a replacement. I know he's a bit of a different type of player to Matic. I would say that, not to directly compare, but in terms of certain play styles, I would say McTominay is a bit more like Fletcher and Matic is a bit more like Carrick in those sorts of ways. Both very, very good players anyway, but yeah, I think within that time we need to... Well, I don't think we can just use McTominay as a Matic replacement. I think what we need to do is not only do that, but then also buy another defensive midfielder, because we haven't really got, unless that player is going to be James Garner in some way, shape or form. I don't really know. James Garner is still very, very young, and he will only be 21 or 22 by that point. I think James Garner is about 18 or so at the moment. But if that's going to be the situation, then okay. If that works out, then that will be great. But I think we also do need to find another deep kind of holding midfielder in the same style as like a McTominay or a Matic kind of thing. So, but we've got 3 years to figure that out, it seems. So we'll see how that goes. But moving into the match, Manchester United 5, Bournemouth 2. What a brilliant game of football this was to watch. This was so thoroughly entertaining. This was such a joy to watch in so many different ways. I think we scored some brilliant goals. And I'm going to try and do this quietly so it's not too loud. Round of applause, I think, for Mason Greenwood. I'm not sure how loud that was, but I'll check it in the editing. Big round of applause for Mason Greenwood. This guy, he just keeps delivering. And so he scored 1 in the previous game, didn't he? And he scored 2 here, against Bournemouth. So he just keeps on scoring. And interesting thing is, some Manchester United fans have made the comment about, like, okay, we need to play him down the middle where Martial is and kind of give Martial some competition, because let's face it, Martial doesn't have that much competition. He's basically got Greenwood and Igalo, because I think at this point Rashford's definitely established himself as a winger as opposed to a central sort of striker or a central sort of striker. But yeah, Greenwood just continues to impress so much, and I think both his goals are brilliant. I do think the second one's a better goal just because of the angle. It's on his somewhat weaker foot, although clearly it's not very weak, because of course his right foot's apparently very, very, very good. But yeah, just particularly with that second goal, which is the one that stood out a little bit more to me. He was sort of drifting to the right and I was like, okay, I've got some confidence he's going to do something here, but what is he going to do? And I can just see with him, every time he gets in the area, something's going to happen. Whether he gets a shot off that's on target that's blocked, or goes out for a corner, or goes to a different player, I always feel like whenever he gets on the edge of that box and he's just looking for that little bit of space, I just have the confidence that he's going to do it. 95% of the time. There's been a few times he's been tackled on the edge of the box, but who hasn't? But you just get this feeling every single time he's on the edge of the box that, okay, he's going to do something, whether it's going to be, I don't know, maybe he's going to cross it into the box, maybe he's going to pass it backwards for somebody to pass it or shoot somewhere else, but he's going to do something every single time. And just seeing him drift off to the right, I was like, okay, you're going a little bit away from the goal, you could still score here. He goes to shoot with his right foot, and I'm like, this is an awkward angle, and then it just goes in the top corner. I was just amazed. I'm blown away by his performance and his goals, and I just echo the thoughts of the rest of the positive side of the fan base with him, where he is very, very Van Persie-esque. You look at the way he plays, the way he controls the ball, the way he shoots. It is very Van Persie-esque. There's no other way to really kind of describe it. Of course, Van Persie was a phenomenal striker, and I miss him as well. He obviously did, played for Arsenal and did some really good stuff there, and then won the league title. Was the last player, of course, of Ferguson's career to get a hat-trick, wasn't he? That Aston Villa game, but and I only hope that Mason Greenwood can just continue on this path, can continue to improve, and the really, really good thing, he's not like 32 at the end of his career or something. He's 19. He's got so much time on his hands to improve and do something. I mean, even in 10 years, when he's 29, he'll probably be at his peak at that point. And given that I've just said that, and that's 10 years away, and he's scoring goals like that at 19 years old, let's not put all the pressure on the world on him to okay, he's our new right winger, let's put him in every game. You've still got to kind of edge him into the team, but he does also deserve to start as well. It's a tricky situation because, yes, you've got him in really, really, really good form, and he scored 3 goals in 2 games, which is absolutely brilliant. I'm really, really happy for him, and I want to see him, if he continues to play like this, play for us for the rest of his career. But let's not put all of the pressure on him, especially like when he hopefully gets England call-ups and stuff like that, and hopefully he doesn't get all the pressure on him in the World Cup and Euros and whatever's going to happen next. Obviously Euros were supposed to happen, but yeah, let's not put all the pressure on him, but let's give him the praise that he definitely deserves. So a big round of applause there for Mason Greenwood. Gosh, what else have we got? Rashford, of course, scored the penalty from the handball. That was really good. Martial scoring just a beautiful goal. He's cut inside there, and you think, okay, he could hit this here. He hits it, and it goes straight in the top corner. It's just, it was beautiful to watch. This was a very, very happy game for us to all watch. So more of that from Martial would be great. I know he's supposed to be our sort of in the box finisher and poacher, but more goals. I mean, more goals period from all of our players would be great, obviously, but more of that from Martial would be brilliant. And the really good thing about that goal as well, we'd gone 1-0 down to a really stupid mistake from Maguire and De Gea. Neither of them have any excuses for that. And Harry Maguire, with that, getting nutmegged as the £80 million captain is just it's a bit embarrassing. And De Gea being beaten at his near post, given all the criticism that he's had. Yeah, both of them definitely messed up with that. Now, at the end of the day, it's kind of overshadowed by the 5 brilliant goals we scored and the fact that we won 5-2 and played so well. But that was because that was 15 minutes in that happened, and because we're all over them for 15 minutes. We get caught, not really even on the break or whatever, just get caught out and let a goal in early on. It was very disappointing, but that happened, and then Greenwood scored the great first goal on the one on his left foot from the left side, and that was a great sort of power shot, because he tends to do these like low, not P-roller shots, but these low-driven shots into the corner. Those are the goals that Greenwood tends to score, but that first one was just a power shot, I think, and that was really, really brilliant as well. But you're kind of thinking like, okay, because that was... Yeah, Rashford scored just after Greenwood. Yeah, that was the penalty in 35 minutes. And then, Greenwood's second goal was in the second half, because it says 54 minutes. And then it's 2-1. You're kind of, okay, there's a few minutes to go until half-time. We're in added time. Just kind of thinking at that point, Can we get we're just on the edge of the box here. Can we just get another goal to make it 3-1 before half time? And we did, and it was brilliant. So that was really great as well. That was 4 of the goals, and then of course we had the free kick from Bruno Fernandes, which was almost given as offside because Matic is the back of his foot or something, the back of his, I don't know. Yeah, that was kind of silly, but yeah, brilliant goal from Bruno Fernandes, really good free kick. That was great as well. And then of course we had the penalty. I know that was before some of those goals, but had the penalty. Silly mistake from Eric Bailly. I think Lindelof went off injured at half-time because that was just after half-time, that goal. Bailly sort of gone to control the ball with, I don't know, his shoulder or his chest or something, and it's hit like the top of his arm or whatever. And yeah, that was a bit unlucky and a bit unfortunate. But you see, the thing is right, with the 2 goals that Bournemouth scored, silly mistakes from defenders, handballs, nutmegs, being beaten at the near post and all that sort of stuff, it is overshadowed by just the brilliance of our attack. And one thing that's quite good to note here is all of the goals came from the 4 players that are forward, because we've got the 2 holding midfielders, Pogba and Matic, and then you've got, you know, Greenwood, Fernandes, Rashford, Martial. All of them scored. I know obviously Rashford's and Fernandes' goal was not from open play, but that's still really, really good as well. So that's a good thing to keep in mind. And all 4 of them just keep seeming to score. I think if you look at the 4 of them though, Rashford's had, I think, the roughest return. Maybe he's still got something from niggling from kind of his injury, the double back stress fracture or whatever it was called. Fernandes is just in brilliant form. Greenwood's breaking into this team. Martial's doing some really great stuff as well. So yeah, just brilliant from our performance. And we never let up. And we even looked like we could have scored 6, 7 or 8 goals, which is brilliant as well. So good stuff. Really, really good stuff. Really, it was just, I know it's Bournemouth. Yes, they're 19th. We should be doing this to teams like Bournemouth, but that doesn't mean you can't enjoy it any less than what it was. So I thought that was great as well. So, but anyway, that's that stuff. Let's get into the player ratings in a minute. But before we do that, let's get into a bit of housekeeping. I'll see you for that in a minute.
Hey guys, what's up? This is Donnie, and I host the Adulting with Donnie podcast. And this is not the show to listen to if you're trying to be a better adult. I started this podcast as a way to offload some thoughts that I have throughout the week. My topics vary widely every week. Movies I've seen, guns and gun control, sex, people that are stupid, why I don't care about celebrity opinions, TV shows, snowmobiling. The list goes on and on. I'm always taking topic suggestions from fans of the show too. So join me each week on Adulting with Donnie as I pour some bourbon and allow you to see the inner workings of the mind of a madman. Live free and rant hard.
I'm Christy.
And I'm Jackie.
And we are Killer Fun. We explore the intersection of crime and entertainment every other week.
For as long as people have been communicating, they have been talking about who did what to whom, and is that socially acceptable?
Because the boundaries of society,
crime,
and entertainment have always gone hand in hand.
The more salacious,
or weird,
the better. From books and movies
to television shows and games,
we look at how life and art imitate and inform one another.
And we can't get together and not laugh. So let's face it, there's going to be laughing.
Killer Fun is available anywhere you listen to podcasts, so join us.
Today's sponsor is Kualu. If you'd like to get started with a domain name and a website today, just click on the link in the show notes and that will take you over to Kualu to get started. They also have a live support chat system that you can use, which is in the bottom right hand corner. So get started with a new website and domain name today with Kualu. Hey everybody, if you would like to get the ad-free versions of all of our podcasts and support Entertainment Talk along the way, all you need to do is head over to patreon.com/entertainment talk. Sign up either as a creator or as a Patreon. There's no difference there. That's just the option for either becoming a creator now or just staying as a patron for the moment. And then all you need to do is support us at the $1 level tier. That will get you access to all of the ad-free podcasts that we've done in the past, and get you access to all the ad-free podcasts in that month as well. So it's a great way to support us on Entertainment Talk and to get rid of the ads and get your ad-free podcasts. You can also become a patron at the $3 level tier. That gets you access to ad-free podcasts and allows you to redeem a review of a TV show or a film of entirely your choice. That's one per month for either a TV show or a film review, which is at the $3 level tier. As always, thank you very much for listening. Back to the show. Alright, recently on Entertainment Talk, did a Let's Play Sunday episode for The Last of Us Part 2. It is a spoiler-free section of the game. It's actually a section of the game that's been shown off previously in the gameplay footage and things like that. So it's one that you might all recognise, some of you might recognise, but if you want to watch me play Last of Us Part 2, there is a Let's Play Sunday episode available for that. It's only about 8 minutes as well. I got through the section a little bit quicker than what I anticipated, but that's this week's Let's Play Sunday episodes. And yes, I'm aware that next week's episode is episode 50, so I'm preparing something special for that, so look out for that as well. CW Superheroes, the season finale for Legends of Tomorrow Season 5 episode 15, the wrap-up podcast for the season and all that, and yeah, some good stuff there. So if you're watching Legends of Tomorrow, that is that's probably all the podcasts for this year, actually, for the Arrowverse shows, because none of them are probably going to return until January. So that is the CW Superheroes podcast for the year. United Cast, I of course talked about the 3-0 win away to Brighton, the Bruno Fernandes special performance there as well. So that was good, and also talked about, the Angel Gomez contract stuff, some information about Sancho, and some other bits and pieces as well. So, chat podcast, a bit of a catch-up episode covering April through to June, because I've missed a couple of months for various reasons. But if you want to know how things behind the scenes have been going for Entertainment Talk and future plans, because that's one thing I've written down in the title is the summer plans as well, you can have a look out for that podcast. The Jim Carrey season for classic reviews is still continuing. Season 4 episode 4 was for Batman Forever. No, Jim does not play the Batman in that film, but he does play the Riddler, and he does a really, really good job as the Riddler in the Batman Forever film, so that was really good as well. Game Talk last week, we talked about Suicide Squad, Batman, the potential Harry Potter game, and some dates and potential, or not dates, sorry, some potential stuff around those games and potential dates, sorry. So we talked about that, and there's also some madness happening over at Twitch and in this streaming world. Introducing the Instant Podcast. Of course, this is going to be the first one of those podcasts, so as soon as I'm done recording this podcast, it will be unedited and instantly uploaded to Patreon. If you want to know more information about what all that's about, you can listen to that particular podcast called Introducing the Instant Podcast. But there's that out there as well. Let's Play Sundays for last week was for The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners VR. My Last of Us 2 review is out. There is a 23-minute or roughly 23-minute spoiler-free section at the start, and then I go into spoilers for the game, but I've given it a don't skip rating and called it something special, because it certainly is. Yeah, you could check that out if you haven't played Last of Us Part 2. Of course, you can listen to the spoiler-free section, so there's that as well. And that's everything we've been doing on entertainmenttalk.org and on podcast platforms. Let me go back into my Sky Sports app, go to Saturday, because of course it's Monday, click on Man United, click on team lineups, and do some player ratings. David De Gea, I'm going to give him a 4. I think that, you can't really blame him for the penalty necessarily, because it's a penalty, but with the first goal, should not be getting beaten at his near post. I probably would have given him around a 6 if he hadn't done that. I thought he had a good game aside from that. Of course, like I said, with penalties, you can't do too much about that necessarily, but yeah, should not be getting beaten at his near post like that. And he's come under a lot of criticism recently, and it's a bit of a shame, because he is a good goalkeeper. He's just in this weird part of his career at the moment where he's just making silly mistakes like that, and so I've got to give him a 4 as a result. But if he didn't make that mistake, I would have given him around a 6 or something. So there's that. Wan-Bissaka, I thought he had another good game, getting forward again, defending well, linking up the play between, well, on the right side, Pogba and Greenwood obviously, but with everybody else was really good. And I'll give him about a 7. Thought he had a good game. Didn't stand out too much necessarily, because of course our attack definitely stood out more in this game than the defence did. But I thought that he had a fairly good game. Lindelof, of course, only played half of the game. I'll give him an average 6 or something. Didn't do too much that I noticed necessarily. Of course, He should have also potentially defended with the first goal that we let in, but that was much more of Maguire's mistake. But yeah, I'll give him an average 6. Maguire, I'll give him also a 4. Him and De Gea, both equal mistakes, because even if Maguire had not let the ball go through his legs, which is embarrassing, De Gea should still have been there to save the shot. So both of them are at fault for the goal. So I'll give them both the same rating with a 4. So there's that. What else we got? Luke Shaw, I thought we had another good game. I think he continues to improve. He's still a relatively young player, isn't he? So he's been really, really good. I'm going to give him a solid 8. He didn't do anything particularly special necessarily, but he did have a good performance apart from that, and didn't do anything necessarily bad. So I'll give him an 8. Paul Pogba, just again, him, Matic and Fernandes just continue to link up so well. It's such a delight to watch. I'm going to give Pogba a 9. I thought he had a really, really good game, and you know what? Like I said last week, I'm not going to say he's a bad player. He's certainly a world-class player, and you can see it certainly. But there's just, of course, still the question about, like, okay, he certainly seems happier, and everyone seems happier about him, and the conversation about, like, is he going to Real Madrid or Juventus or wherever, those seem to have gone completely silent. It's just a case of, I think the end of next season is, I think he's got the rest of this season, and I think it's next season on his contract, and then it runs out. I may be wrong about that, but that's the last I remember hearing. We're just going to have to see how that goes, because like I kind of said last week, it's all great in the moment. It's all great at the moment, or in the moment right now, with him playing really well and linking up really well with Matic and Fernandes, but do we know how he feels necessarily about the club and the club's ambition and that sort of thing? Like, it's going to be interesting to see, but at the moment, certainly, he's playing really, really, really well, so I'm going to give him a 9. Matic, I'm going to give him a 9 as well. I thought he was outstanding. It just continues to oddly improve, considering he's 30 plus as well. But yeah, again, he's one of them players where speed doesn't really matter with him. You got Pogba next to you, you got Fernandes next to you as well. They can help out. You got Rashford and Greenwood, 2 young, fast players that can help out as well. But Matic is the person that will get the tackle in, break up the play, and get that killer pass off to one of the front 4 or whatever. And he does it brilliantly. So I'm going to give him a 9. Mason Greenwood, man of the match. I'm going to give a 10 out of 10, rating of a 10. 2 just fantastic goals. It's just got into a case with him where, like, we've got a game on Thursday. I hope he plays again. And just every time he gets on the edge of the box, I'm just you just think that something special is going to happen every single time, and it's so good to watch. It really is. I really hope that we manage to keep hold of him long term. If he keeps this form, of course, which I think he will. I'm excited for his potential future as an England striker or a winger or whatever he's going to become. But yeah, really, really good stuff from him. I'm very, very impressed. Bruno Fernandes, I'm going to give a 10 to as well. Good free kick. I thought he did some, he's got that number 10. He's the player that we've needed for years. He's filled that role so well. It's a delight when he's on the ball as well. So, yeah, really, really good stuff from Fernandes. Rashford, I'm going to give... I was going to say a 7 or an 8, so I'll do a 7.5. He still looks a little bit rusty to me. I don't know what it is necessarily and when that will sort of pass. He's looking better with each game, but there's just something there, isn't it, to where he just doesn't quite look as sharp as what you maybe would want him to. And I think he's going to improve. I think he's going to get back to those, the days just before he got injured and that, and we were really reliant on him because we didn't have Fernandes and that. But there's just a little bit of something left to where, like, he's just not quite there yet. But I think he'll get back to that sooner rather than later. Maybe he'll score. I think he needs to score. Obviously, he scored the penalty, which is good for him. But I think he needs to score a goal from open play to just get his confidence. But I think his confidence is at like an 8 or a 7 or an 8. I just think he needs a goal to maybe put that up to a 9 or a 10 and just get that little bit of confidence or whatever it is that's kind of just missing from his game. Just needs to get that back. But he is. I've seen some slow improvements from him in the last couple of games, so I'm going to give him a 7.5. Martial, I'm going to give a 9 to. Brilliant goal, really good stuff. Again, he had one of them kind of games where it was dominated by the three in the middle, Greenwood, Fernandes, Rashford, and of course, Pogba and Matic. Martial, I've noticed, is a player that he doesn't really get the ball that much, but when he does, he does things that some people watching football wouldn't maybe notice, like some of the link-up play that he does, or some of those useful little passes, or some of those sort of runs that he does, and that kind of thing, and then, he'll score a goal here and there and kind of add them up and that sort of thing. But brilliant goal from Martial. I want to see more of that. I kind of wonder if we're having enough long shots. I don't know. Like, I'm not talking about like 40-yarder screamers, but just when we get on the edge of the box, like Matic is certainly capable of shooting. Pogba definitely is. Greenwood definitely is. Fernandes is. All of those all those 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, all those 6 players. Sorry. Yeah, 6 players. I couldn't count for a second. All those 6 players are really good at shooting, and even if Greenwood has to come off for Dan James has shown that he's good at shooting as well. I just think that sometimes when we get to the edge of the box, we don't always get that much space, which is probably why we're not shooting as much. But I just feel like we could a little bit more, and the Martial goal kind of proves that, because all of those 6 players. 6 players, yeah. All those 6 players are capable of doing not necessarily the exact same shot, but I think they've certainly all proved that they can do that. I mean, I don't expect Matic to be like on the edge of the box shooting. I expect him to be one that's a little bit more deeper. But certainly the rest of them who are likely to push forward a bit more are certainly capable of that. So I just want to see that a little bit more. So we'll see how that goes in the next couple of games. I'm going to kind of keep my eye on that. But I've noticed when we tend to get forward a lot more, that teams do park the bus a little bit and kind of wait for us to lose possession. So, yeah, there we go. But, that's my player ratings. Greenwood's man of the match for me. Just wow. Just really, really impressed by him. So hopefully it continues. Hopefully he doesn't suddenly drop off for no reason. Hopefully he either stays with this form or improves. I think that's what we all want to see. So we shall see how that goes. Villa... We're playing against Aston Villa Thursday night, 8:15. I don't know why it's 8:15, but it is. So I'll be doing the podcast for that on Friday, and then I'm not sure when our next game is. Let me actually check the Sky Sports app again, because if you're playing on Thursday, the next we'll probably play is Sunday, but I don't think we're playing on Sunday. Thursday 9th of July is Aston Villa. Nothing on Friday. Nothing on Saturday. Nothing on Sunday. Monday. Okay, Monday's our next game against Southampton, again at 8 o'clock, Monday Night Football. So yeah, Thursday and then Monday is the next 2 games. So what I'm going to do is the Thursday game for Aston Villa, I'll talk about that on Friday, and then the Southampton game Monday night, I'll talk about that on Tuesday. So look out for all of those. But what did you think of today's performance? What do you think of Greenwood? And what do you think of the Pogba situation? Matic's new contract, McTominay's new contract, no contract for Gomez, he's gone. What do you think of that? What do you think of the potential of us getting Sancho and all that sort of thing? I think there's a possibility we could get Sancho, but I wouldn't get our hopes up. Because just remember that even if it's a case where Sancho wants to join, Dortmund are willing to let him go for a certain price, just remember who we're owned by. Yeah, remember that we're owned by the Glazers, and the one big thing about them, of course, when you buy players, you have to spend a lot of money, and they don't like to do that. So let's just, I don't want to say like, okay, he's not coming to Manchester United. We don't know. Obviously, there's probably behind the scenes discussions that none of us know about, but it might, I'm sure Man United would be very, very happy to have Sancho there. Maybe Sancho would be happy to play for Manchester United. Maybe Dortmund would be willing to let him go. But there's just the extra part of that chain, which is the Glazers, and they don't like to spend money. And Sancho is not going to be cheap. He's certainly not going to be as cheap as 50 million, which is apparently the price tag that we've put out there for him. He's going to be more money than that. And given how much we squabbled over, was it 46, 47 million for Fernandes, a player that we really needed, let's just because of the Glazers, let's just temper our expectations a little bit in terms of whether or not he's going to join. So... but if you put the Glazers aside, I think he would join. But I think it's just a case of money, maybe, which obviously, football is a business at the end of the day. and our owners don't like to spend that money. They like to keep it for themselves, so, or at least most of it. But anyway, let me know what you think of all of that and anything related to Entertainment Talk. Matthew at entertainmenttalk.org, Twitter eTalkUK. There's a contact page and information in your show notes. For everything else, of course, entertainmenttalk.org. If you would like to check out other people that are involved with Entertainment Talk, such as Bex, she is streaming on Twitch quite regularly at the moment. She's also doing this Alien Isolation Horror Saturday kind of thing. I can't remember the exact name, but something to do with that. So you can, of course, find that on Twitch as well. That is Trista Bytes, BYTES, so you can have a look out for that as well. Yeah, just search for Trista Bytes, BYTES on Twitch. Excuse me. David is, of course, on Geektown. You can check him out, geektown.co.uk. And Geektown Radio Tuesdays, that's for your TV and film news. For us, of course, Patreon. If you're on there, you might get this podcast 5 or 10 minutes, not 10 minutes, a few minutes after I finished here with the Instant podcast, so look out for that as well on Patreon. And you can, of course, check out the $1 and $3 level tiers for Instant Podcast, ad-free podcasts, and review options as well, so look out for that. Amazon affiliate link, if you're thinking of shopping on Amazon, where you can get a small cut of what you spend. It won't cost you extra. iTunes feeds, please rate, review and subscribe to those, both to Entertainment Talk and to Geektown. That would be great as well. Word of mouth, you could tell people that you know about the website and the iTunes feeds. Social media, tell people that you know on there. Share them on Facebook and Twitter, and if you can, in different Facebook groups. Like I said, Twitch, Bex on Twitch, Trista Bytes, BYTES. Me and David are also on Twitch. And you can also look out for Let's Play Sundays. Thank you all very much for listening, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.